Hi, everyone. This is Grant Hubbard again with another Gutter Growth podcast. Today with me, I have Steve Cochran. He is the inventor and one of the owners of GutterGate, which is a new product that's just came out for the bottom of the elbows. You know what, Stephen, I will let you tell us more about that. Thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, and who your partners are in this endeavor.
Okay, my name's Steve Cochran. I'm the inventor of GutterGate, and I have my children as basically partners with me in this. I have three children that's in it. Two of them, they're all grown up, of course, but two of them's males and one of them's a female. It's Chris, Carrie, and Victoria, and they all kind of are involved with me in the growth of GutterGate. They have a lot of interest in it. Ever since I've came up with the concept and to do GutterGate, I did some prototypes and a bunch of stuff like that. And then once I was actually able to have one in my hand, it was kind of easy to get people behind me, and they've always been very supportive, and they're pushing. They've always pushed the product. All of them believe in the product, and they just love it, and they want to be part of it. And I couldn't say no, and I was like, let's see how we can do this. So that's what we did.
Fantastic. How long ago did you invent this? Like, when did this idea start to formulate?
It's probably 2000, I'm gonna say 15 or so. I had a concept of it. I was doing a lot of gutter protection, and I was just doing a lot of gutters, and I would always run into homeowners whenever we would install the protection on the top that would say, "Do you have anything for downspouts?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And then they would say, "Squirrels are getting into it," and then I would go to the next house, and it would just be spread apart. It wasn't like one after the other or anything, but about 20, 30 houses later, I'd have someone else ask me. And then and this kept going on. I probably had, I don't know, 10 people ask me over a period of 6 months or so. And then I was like, well, there might be something to this, so then I started playing with the concept of what that would look like, but I was really, to be honest with you, I was more blown away by squirrels can actually get up in your gutters or
Climb up in there,
gutters. Yeah, and I didn't buy into it, to be honest with you. I was my own worst skeptic on the idea, but after I kept hearing that, I was like, there might be something to this, So I said, I'll come up with something. So, like in between times, like when I was at idle, I would, just think about different ideas of how to do it. And I came up with many ideas originally, and I couldn't get past it because everything that I came up with blocked it. So, it was like string concepts that would go on the gutter, and it would, and I would think, okay, the screen could work if they had gutter protection. It wouldn't work if they didn't have gutter protection.
Correct.
So I was like, well, so maybe that could still work, and I had simple designs built, kind of manufactured to do that. And then I was like, well, you're only as good as the installer, because if that installer doesn't clean it out good enough, it's going to block it. The stuff's going to come down, it's going to get trapped. So that was the big thing. Was I was trying to think through the installation process, because we all know that you have really good installers and you got some that's just wanting to get it done, and they don't really care. So the concept was, the screen was out at that point, even though I had a lot of time in thinking about it. And then I said, the only thing that I could come up with is it's got to be where it doesn't block itself. It's got to be self-cleaning, or even if it does block itself, it's got to be something that can be easily remedied for cleaning out. You could reach down there and just pull it out or whatever. So the concepts, from a gutter downspout point of view, if you don't have gutter protection, it needs to still work, but you should be able to clean it as well. But then
Yeah.
from if you have gutter protection on it, then you're really not going to run into that potential of something clogging on it. So
That debris down
so I
there.
went
Yeah,
to
that makes sense.
so I went to the drawing board, and I worked on it. I don't know, maybe 5 months, 6 months or so, just trying to figure out how to do it. And I quickly realized I wasn't getting anywhere. So I came up with basically a 3D printer that I had bought and I played around with. I said, how can I do this? And I just kept it simple. And the simple part of it is what worked. I said it
Okay.
needs to look like the downspout, because I did build other ones that was bulky. I squared them
Uh,
up. I did all kinds of just different styles, and none of them, it just didn't look right.
right.
When you stuck it on there, it was bulky, it was heavy, it was square, it just didn't flow with the downspout. So then that's why I came up with, what if I duplicate them and then do it at an angle a certain way. And there's a lot of concepts that came in it, but I actually nailed it, and that's when I come out with the it had to stay closed no matter what, and
Yep.
at any angle, like whenever you're at an angle, it has to stay closed. And then we also
Yep.
wanted it to, there's some patented features that we have within this door, just within the door itself, and a lot
Okay.
of it's got to do with even the recessed is patented, because uh, the trick is if it shuts, according to like a squirrel or a chipmunk, they'd be able to open it if it wasn't recessed. So we
Yeah.
recessed it within it to where when it sits, it kind of
Yeah.
it recesses and it shuts. But at the
It's
same time,
fabulous.
it's very easy to clean out. It's nothing that's
Yeah.
going to hurt you, and it's not going to hurt the downspouts. The downspouts, when they fill up, the water's going to push it open, no problem.
Would you
There's
hold
no
that
issues
one
with it.
back? Would you hold that one back up again? I want to explain to the viewers. So this is a B. In case
This is a
anybody's
big.
wondering, that's like, why does it look that shape? The A is obviously a little bit wider. This is a B style. You've got an A there. Beautiful. And I can vouch for this product, guys. I have this product. We use it. I love it. We're going to talk about some of those features a little bit farther on. Steve, tell me a little bit about what you did before this, if you don't mind. Like, what have you've been doing this since 2015, kind of toying with it. What'd you do? I know you're like only 23 or 24 years old, but how
I
long,
built
what were you doing
my
before
trade
this?
grow my trade growing up was growing up 13, 14, I started doing drywall. And I got in the drywall business all the way to I was roughly 30. I ran
Okay.
drywall companies and things like that. And then I went into building development. I started building houses, developing land. And I got to 2008. I had the economy started crashing, tanking, all the loans was being pulled. So I got taken out of that profession of building, which I love. I love building.
Mm-hmm.
It was what I knew and I loved it. And whenever I got knocked out of it, I got beat around a little bit. And, um, I had to get humble. I had to take a regular job at a regular box store type thing. And I did
Yeah.
that for a little bit, humbling myself. And then I went back into the remodeling business, doing basic house stuff. At the time, I went to the box stores. There wasn't a lot of stuff. I mean, everything was trying to figure out where it was at. And then I came back
Yeah.
out, and uh, we got busy. My son was doing a lot of gutters and gutter protection, and we got busy and started doing gutters and gutter protection, which I was familiar with because we did a lot of gutters on the houses when I built them. I just never
Okay.
thought about gutter protection, and
Right.
so it was that, just construction basically. I'm very familiar with construction. I
Yeah, that makes
understand,
a
like,
lot.
yeah,
That
I
makes a lot
understand,
more
like,
sense to me. Yeah, of how you came up with such a quality product. I've thought
yeah,
about that, and I'm like, okay, did he already have knowledge of the industry? Because I see a lot of things built by people that invent stuff that aren't in the building industry. Maybe they just have extra money, or they're an engineer and they overthink things, like overcomplicate stuff. And when I got that first gutter gate in my hand, and like you said, I'm playing with it, the door, the ease, but it's actually closed, nothing. I was like, either this guy's just an outright genius, or he's been in the industry and was able to equate how this door is working, as well as the chic, I would say, chic look of how this is on. That makes a lot more sense because you were already in the trades. So,
Well, I think building helped me with the gutters. It definitely
yeah,
helped me with understanding water and stuff like that. But I
yeah,
think what really did it for me as far as designing it is I think that it's really it's kind of like how it should have been progressed. I don't think that I was a genius with it or anything. I just think that if I said, hey, build something that's going to blend with it, that's probably what it would have looked like, but at the same time, no one did it, so
yeah. No, no,
I got to do it. And,
you got to
you
do
know,
it. There's always somebody.
and I hope I might be wrong, but, I don't get a lot of negative. I get way more positive out of it than negative. I'll have people, I mean, and it doesn't happen much. It does happen, but I'll have people say, like, why would you block the downspout? You know, and
Mhm.
I mean, I understand their concept on why would you do that. I understand it, but after doing everything that I did and talking to all the people that I've done, I mean, we've had it exposed pretty good, and
Yeah,
we get so little like comments. Most of it that we get probably is it's expensive. But
okay,
these things aren't cheap to make. They're pretty
right.
expensive. It's not a cheap process to make these things. And I think that from um, from a review point of view, it's just been really 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 strong with the way that it has came out. And
I
we
agree.
we get pointed out stuff that I never, be honest with you, I never intended for it to. I never thought some things I never thought about, and then as
Right.
I'm doing it, I'm seeing people buy it, and they're telling me like why they got it, and then I'm like,
Hmm.
never thought about that,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's and you kind of learn as you go. Like the biggest thing for me personally is if you think it's blocking the downspouts, I understand that argument. Um, but at the same time, it's if you watch it work, it really lets the water out pretty easy. It's not really blocking anything, and if you're
100%.
doing gutter protection, it's blocking nothing. But at the
Blocking
same
nothing.
time, it's to me personally, it's a it beautifies the downspout. It takes it just changes it, and that to me that's what I like about it. I like the way it changes it because we've had this downspout that's a gapping hole in everybody's downspout all over the country. They're all beat up.
Yeah.
They none of them look like whenever the installer put it on there. They get
First
hit
put
by
them. Yeah.
weed eaters. They get
Yeah.
hit by lawnmowers. They get stepped on, all this kind of stuff. And um, when you put this on it, there's no hole. It's closed. It's clean. Goes with the
Hmm.
landscaping. And guess what? Yeah, it's not going to dent. If you step on it,
No,
it's very.
no.
You're going to rip the downspout off
Yes.
before you damage these things. They're very, and that's probably one of the biggest comments we get is I can't believe how well made it was when they bought it. Because it is. It's thick. The plastic's not cheap. And the way that lid's designed, it's actually uh, it protects itself from
Yeah.
anything hitting it because it's recessed. So, and whenever it closes, it rests on itself. So the ledge that's around it, that whole door rests on the ledge, and the hinges aren't any at any point is the hinge a compromise to fail because it's
I like
tucked
that as
in, and
well.
so So it only exposes itself when it's raining. When it's raining, it
Would you show
opens it.
them that how that's
Sure.
recessed like that? I like that. I could see a
I don't
kid
know if
going
it,
up to it, and yeah, that's perfect right there. Now, if you would with your finger, like you would from the inside, kind of open it and show them that
so
ledge.
so the patents and the ledges and stuff, all this stuff has a ledge all the way
Yeah,
around it.
there you
If you
go.
can see it right
Yep.
there,
Yeah, you can
and
see that really good.
it goes all the way around, and that's, you know, uh, all the way on the top. I'm trying to get it to where you can see it. See it?
Yep,
It
right
goes
there.
all the way around.
Hmm.
So whenever,
Come up a
so
little bit.
whenever,
Yeah, there we are, right there.
so
Yeah.
it's designed, that whole ledge goes all the way around it. So whenever the um the
Steve,
product,
the way you popped that lid off was like you invented the thing or something. Because I was messing with one the other day, and I wanted to see if the lid was come off, but I'm like, man, I paid for this thing. I ain't just about to break it for no reason. So I left it alone. But that's cool that you can. I seen the way you just wicked it right on and off. I didn't know that.
well, the biggest thing is the first concepts was pins and metal and
Uh
all
huh.
kinds of like stuff to do it with. And it's kind of evolved as I was doing it. And what we wanted is I wanted to build a few parts as possible. So what happens is whenever they create this, these are two different modes, of course. And
Uh
once
huh.
they come out of the modes, they just pop them together.
Wonderful.
And they're
I
tight.
want to talk.
They're tight. It took a little bit to get that because of
Yeah.
the manufacturing process of it. You want it to be tight, but it's got to be able. You got to be able to put it on it. So
Yeah.
it's a fine
Yeah.
line. So we're right there at that fine line of pressure. But the biggest thing with it is no matter what gutter gate you got, that I mean, it's all going to have the ledge. It's all going
Mm-hmm.
to it's all going to recess flat. You're not going to see it.
Would you show us that from the side? Turn it. Yes, you guys see how clean that is, and it's got a hole on the left and the right for you to put your zip screw in there.
Yeah,
And
so it's yeah, and
it's
it comes pre the hose already in it. And
yep,
it's just, if you got most of your gutter guys have screws already on hand, they can use the same screws right through this and
yep.
set it. So it's pretty simple. Part.
Some of the things that like you said, probably people were brought up. It sounds like originally more for rodents, rats, squirrels, whatever is running around, chipmunks, etc. The first opportunity that I had to sell at GutterGate, you guys had sent me a sample. I'd asked for a sample of one, and I didn't know exactly what I was going to get. And being in the gutter industry for 25 years, I've often heard about protection. Matter of fact, when I opened this location, when I came and started working at this location in Austin, the very first day or two, there was a gentleman that was very particular, an elderly gentleman who was doing, I think it was like an $8,000 or $9,000 gutter job without protection. He was very particular about a couple of the downspouts, and he said there has to be something that covers those for me and my wife when we're walking. Sometimes we may slip or not be aware and there's a smaller walkway. And I said, well, what I recommend is just going to Home Depot or something and getting some clear hose, a foot of it, and slicing it down the middle and then kind of gluing it around that edge. And he's like, dude, I'm worried about my safety and you want me to play with the razor blade. And I kind of chuckled and I said, well, we'd be more than willing to do that for you. And he said, there's nothing else. I said, well, there's a couple products, but I don't really believe in them. And I immediately started doing some research. So it was like somebody has got to have created some. And so now that's our selling point. To be quite frank, I haven't sold one at all under the premise of stopping rodents. It's all about child safety. And so I'm going to continue to, when we're doing homes, maybe more towards the woods or the green belts and stuff like that, use that as well as the selling point. But mainly it's like you said, the weed whip, the lawnmower, but more importantly, whenever I see children's toys or the children circling mom or dad during the estimate, I immediately want to have that thing in my hand and go, these elbows are sharp. And now, as I've spoken with you, we want to talk about that gutter gate, how it closes that gap, that big open dead hole that you can see for your curb appeal. Now that I know what these look like, and let's, before we get too far, how do people get to your website? What is your website? So people could look this up maybe while they're listening.
GutterGate.com.
GutterGate.com.
Yeah.
They're also on Instagram. They have some fabulous videos on Instagram that show how sturdy this is. They've driven over it with a heavy golf cart. That's super strong. You can stand on these things. I was actually throwing one around the shop the other day, just talking, kind of having some fun, and it hit the ground probably from 10 or 15 feet in the air and just bounced. The lid didn't pop off. I picked it up. I was just kind of toying with it to see how sturdy. You know, sometimes these things might fall off the shelf in our truck if our intentions are to stock them so that the guys can upsell them. You know, I think that's a really good point. But I think you're absolutely correct that it's right, that it finishes off the look of the downspout. It really does. You can't unsee it. You can't unsee, like, how have we just had these wide open downspouts forever when there's this thing is attractive as well. It's fun.
I've had, one of the big things about GutterGate's made in the USA. And I've had several people saying cheapen it, get it made in China, use thinner plastic, all this kind of stuff. There's all kinds of stuff you can do to I'm sure bring the price down, but at the same time, I'm the type of guy that I don't want to like have a bad name with what I do, and I don't want to create a problem. I don't want these lids in everybody's front yards, that they don't work. And you'll see that it works if you buy one. And you was talking earlier about the rats and the squirrels. To be honest with you, it was a hard concept for me to swallow. But when you think about it, think about all your pest control services across the nation. They're all selling gutter protection because squirrels is getting into their attics, they're getting through their downspouts. And we've had several opportunities with several big pest control companies. And they actually asked us, like, would it keep the rats out? So we did a rat test.
You did some actual test and have some real life data. Yeah.
Yeah, because they were saying they'll get in, and Victoria, which is my daughter, she's like, let's build one. And my son, Chris, let's build one, and they was kind of perturbed by it because they was like, test it, but they was like, we can't test it. We can just say that it will fail because we believe that the rats can open the gate, So what we did is we said, well, this is a good opportunity to really learn, So we made the test. We did the experiment. We made the test doors, and we put 3 rats. Really, there's big rats that we put in there, and we let it run. And what we did is we just put the food up in the case, so they had to go through the gutter gates and up the elbow to get to the food, and they never could do it, And we ran that test, and we sent it back to them immediately. After about a week, we said, "Hey, they can't get in." And he goes, "Well, we believe that they can get in." And they asked if I would take the door off of it for a week and let the rats get used to the door not being there, and going up the downspout. And I said, well, that would be great, because I didn't do that. I knew they couldn't get in, so I said, okay, I'll tell you what I'll do is we'll take the door off, and we got them used to it, and they could go up that downspout like you wouldn't believe. It was no problem.
They have no problems.
It kind of opened my eyes that maybe they can travel like that, And
they absolutely can.
And I was like, okay. Yeah. So we left that off for another week, and then I put it back on, and we ran it again, and guess what happened? They can't get in it.
Yeah.
They can't get in it. So then they said, well, we think the maternal instincts, if they had babies up there, and that we can introduce them to that, then maybe they could, their mother instincts would, they'd fight to get up there. And I said, and I was being funny. I said, well, I could just
Yeah.
light it on fire and just see how, if they can
Yeah.
escape, you know. I would never
Well,
do
I
that, of
think
course.
no, of course, but
But
I think to their point or your point or whoever's like, when there's a will, there's a way. Is there a rat in the world that might be able to open this thing? Okay, maybe, but the odds of it, food is just as important, if not more important, than babies. If they're not going to go to the food,
I
they're
mean,
not.
so to be honest with you, that's been, I'm gonna say 4 or 5 months ago, maybe. And we just left the test in. We still feed them daily. You know, we're not starving them or anything,
You've
but
got pets now.
we have pets because we went and
Have you
bought
named
all these
them?
things.
Yeah, have you
Yeah,
named
yeah,
them
they're
by
on
any
there.
chance? I knew it. I knew
So,
it.
but you know, it's like even to this day, they're not climbing up. They can't climb in it. They're not doing it. You know, and I'm not
Yeah,
saying that.
yeah.
I know that squirrels are smart and stuff, but you know, the thing is there's no animal, I don't think personally, that's going to run around and just wait to figure out the gutter gates to get
No,
up in there. You know, it
no.
deters it, and that's what that's what it was
It's the
designed to
deter.
do, is
Yeah,
deter
yeah.
without you know, um, compromising the stuff coming out of it, the debris coming
Correct.
out of it. So I think that it's a win-win, and we've learned a lot of things doing it. You know, you mentioned a few things, but you know, there's like you said, the kids' feet that get hurt, animals' feet, um,
Yeah,
the
the
looks of it.
dogs running around the corner. We've had that. A couple people ask already prior to the product, right? And I've had several people mention it. I wouldn't say in my whole 25 years, but as I've been a little bit more educated in the past 15 years, I've definitely had homeowners say, could we not put the downspout there because my dog goes flying around that corner, my daughter goes flying around that corner, unless you have a way to protect. And so in those situations, maybe we've just left the downspout off. The elbow at the bottom, so the water could pour at the foundation straight to a splash. You know, that's not the best scenario. Also, maybe the homeowner doesn't want one at every single downspout, but the average homeowner has the hose on the side of their house, and they pull it across that downspout, right, to wash their car in the driveway. And a lot of people put the downspouts really, really low. Now in the industry, we've realized they need to be up a little higher for a splash
Mhm.
block or weed whip. But just pulling your hose across that thing, I've dealt with that in my own personal house, and I've took the elbow off so that I could pull my hose, or I put a little like piece of metal with the V that my hose sat on so it wouldn't scrape. So I think there's a whole bunch, and people are probably going to continue to find more reasons to build value behind your product.
Well,
I'm
you know,
curious. Go ahead.
when you look at like the downspouts itself, if you go on our website, there's a slider bar, and that's actually a gutter that was here at our office that we put the gutter down. But when you do the slide bar, you're gonna see that the metal itself was all damaged. Well, you
Yeah.
know, a downspout's what, $8 probably at Home Depot now. I'm not really sure, but I'm thinking it's
Ooh, they're
about,
more. Those steel downspouts at Home Depot are a little bit more. I want to say they're a lot more than that, to be quite
so
frank.
you
I just
know,
did a cost analysis of when the homeowners say, well, we'll just go buy our own and install it ourselves. And I've been able to give them, like, it's more expensive by far to go buy these products. I mean, you pay $4 or $5 just for the elbow, let alone the little pack of hangers and downspouts and stuff. Yeah.
so you know,
Not to
instead of like
mention,
instead of replacing it, you can these will go right over it, and that's what we did on
mm-hmm,
that particular
mm-hmm.
downspout. But you know, you also have, which I didn't realize this either, it does control flow of water to some degree. I'm not going to say
Yes.
it. I'm not going to say that it's, the water's not getting out of it the same,
Right.
but it does, what it does is it evens the flow out before, instead of pouring out like a downspout, it's more flatter. The water's more flat. And
I
what we've
agree with that.
seen, and if you go on like some of the probably our reviews on our website. If not, you'll see it just in different places. I know I've read it. One of them said in Florida that they have flash rains all the time, and he said that he was constantly having to put his mulch back, and he put on our product, and it doesn't wash the mulch anymore. So
Yeah,
I
I
know
noticed
that.
that in the rain the other day. I was actually
So
working on a lady. She was being hyper OCD about her splash block. It was raining. We had the gutter gate on, and I mean, it was pouring rain. And the first thing I noticed, she was in a cul-de-sac that her neighbor, they had some 5-inch and 2x3 downspouts. And the water is just jetting out of that front downspout on the corner.
right,
And here's her house. And again, it wasn't like it wasn't pouring out, but it was
it
just a
baffles
nice
it.
a nice waterfall, man. It
So
instead
yeah,
of making the water like come out circular like a hose, it kind of flattened it to just
yep,
a waterfall. I
yep.
noticed that immediately too.
But that's stuff
And there
that I
was
didn't think about.
yeah,
You know, as a
yeah.
I didn't, I didn't look. I think there's a lot of reasons, but I just personally like the way that they look. Personally,
I
I think
do
there's a lot
too.
of reasons, but I just like the way they look.
I want to talk
Uh,
about some of the sizes you have right now. I know you're growing and jump right to it. I am personally very excited. You put that idea of that, what I'm calling that naked hole at the bottom of the elbow, and I can't unsee it now. Thank you, Steve. So on my
I
house, I have
appreciate
four
that,
inch round.
Tom.
I have 4 inch. No, that wasn't a compliment. That was like, dang it. Every house needs to have these. Otherwise, it irritates me. I pull up to my own house. I have 4 inch round downspouts, and I got a big old hole. So I'm patiently awaiting your 4 inch round. You are working on that, correct?
Yes, we are working on the round.
Oh my gosh, you have one.
We do have one. Um, it's going to be a little bit, but we are
Okay.
working on it. This is a pretty close
Wow.
prototype. This, of course, the lid's going to look different. We just did this for marketing points of view, but it's coming. It's a
I'm
four
very
inch,
excited about this. I had not seen this yet. And
same
oh my,
same technology
look at that.
to close. When it closes flat.
Mm-hmm. Gorgeous.
So it's
So
going to
you
be
have them
simple.
now in 2x3, A and B, and you have
Two
them
by
in
three.
in 3x4 in the A and B. And what
Yeah,
colors do you have them in right now? White, black, and brown, or just the white and black?
white, black, and brown.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends. If somebody had something that they wanted, the issue that you have that you run into is when you start running molds, you have to, like, I want to be considerate of the people that's setting all this stuff up, and it'll take them half a day to set up a
Yeah,
product to get ready to run it. And you
yeah.
just can't just switch and switch and switch,
Right,
like different
right.
colors. And then you
Yeah,
also have they need to make so many of them for it to even be worth their while.
correct.
So what we try to do is I would be open to other colors if somebody wanted it, but you're still looking at probably a palette that has to be made of that color. So
Okay.
we're kind of easing into the color range, but we just can't offer all the
Yeah.
colors right now. So that's why
Let
we
me
went
ask.
to the white. The white's really the way
Yeah,
that it's designed. They're designed to be painted. It's really easy. You can go to our website and you can figure it out pretty easy. I'll show you actually on it how to do it. And
yeah.
the paint sticks to it like you won't believe. It's not going to wash off, and you can do that out in the field pretty easy. It's not hard.
I have painted a couple. We've done some in antique ivory. We've done some in clay. We've done some in wicker, and we've done some in linen. And I wanted to personally be the one to paint them. We don't paint much at our company, but every now and then we've got to paint something. And I won't let the guys just do it out in the field like an elbow. There's a reaction that happens. These products have an enamel, a baked enamel that counteracts with a new spray paint. And as everybody knows, 6 months to a year or longer or sooner, depending on, especially in Texas with the heat, that elbow or that corner sticks out like a sore thumb. It starts to turn white or yellow. Part of that is the reaction. Second of all, the Um, the surface hasn't been prepped properly with an elbow. It needs to be sanded, it needs to be primered, it needs to be dried, then primered again, and then dried, and then, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, these things are paintable. I don't want them painting them on site, and I don't know this is a new product. It takes paint beautifully. I painted one black the other day, and then we had one of your black ones on my desk. This is a true story. The sales guy calls me, says, "Hey, I'm pulling up. I need another sample." I gave like the 3 or 4 I had away to the customer so they could try to show their husband or whoever. And I said, "Yeah, I've got a black one on my desk. One of them's painted. Let's not use that as the sample because, I just painted it. I picked it up like a couple minutes later. It dried amazingly quick too. Unlike an elbow, it gets tacky. He came in. He didn't know which one was painted. He had to come over and ask me, like, "Hey, which one of these was actually painted?" And because I'd played with this so much, I said, "This one right here is your brand new one." But that's how close it was. I love the paintability of it.
It's super easy to paint. And the big thing with painting them is just once you're finished and they dry, it's just make sure that the paint didn't stick the door shut, and as long as you
Correct.
free that, you're
Yeah.
good. It's not the paint to me. I can't see any wear and tear that's going to develop with paint.
No, I think that
it's
there's
just
going to
not going
be.
to happen.
I took when I painted the first one, I painted the entire. We have like a little hang. I use like a little hanging thing, just like I would paint an elbow or
Yeah.
something. And I paint it, and I didn't paint the lip, right? I didn't think about it. I said, "Well, do I want to paint the inside?" It was a white one that I was painting. I think I painted it black right off the bat. I wanted to go with the white contrast to the black. And then of course it was dry. 10, 15 minutes later, I'm playing with it. The door opened, and I go, "Oh, I got to get that edge." So I just took a builder's pencil, the flat square one, and
Okay.
I painted it, and then I just set it in the door to let it just
Yeah.
stay a little crack open. It worked perfectly. And I sit around. People are so tired of me with the GutterGate at my office because they're clapping it all day long, and I walk up and talk to people with it like it's a
Like a
puppet.
puppet.
They're like,
Yeah.
"Get that thing away from me." So the paintability is fabulous, and I want to go back a little bit real quick. The intention of my podcast with you is twofold, right? Is to let you guys tell about the product. And then because of what I'm doing in the industry right now, I want good products. We're doing some stuff in the Gutter app. I think it's a perfect fit. And we'll continue to talk about that to let people know about it inside of the app. Because it's a fabulous product. And the palette, how many are roughly in a palette? Might I ask?
About 1,500 usually. 12 to
1500s.
1,500. Yeah.
Okay. And if I may bring up Chris, your son.
Yes.
So I've been obviously dealing with Chris. That's how I was introduced to you. Fabulous. You've raised a fabulous son right there. He's a
awesome.
gentleman.
Yeah.
He is punctual. He's on point. He answers my calls. I've been flustered due to my own incompetence trying to figure out the dealer thing. I got a new computer and I had to do something. He's like, I'll do it for you here. He just made it happen for me. Again, my own incompetence, very easy now that he's walked me through it 3 different times. I'm like, oh, okay. I'd like to see some people, my friends in the industry, those big names, you guys know who you are. Let's get some palettes together so we can get some of these other colors. It shouldn't be that hard for a couple of us to do some bulk buys. I put my name behind this product. I stand by it. Grant Hubbard, as well as the custom gutter guy. I stand behind the GutterGate. It is a fabulous product. It has a multitude of uses. All of them combined can ensure safety and elegance on a home. And I think for the people that I'm coaching, that's what you guys are looking for to take your business to the next level. This is a great singular product, as well as something that you can offer in a complete package for a complete gutter system. I'm feeling like moving forward, Steve, these complete gutter systems are going to include the GutterGate. And I would encourage all my friends in the gutter industry, fellow business partners, etc., to get behind this product, and let's make it a common thing on a home when we're looking at gutters.
I think it's a tool. I think GutterGate is a tool. It's really a heck of a tool if used properly.
Hmm.
There's not a lot of people that's completely enclosing uh, gutter their gutters. And
No.
I always call it a system. You
Yeah.
know, you got a system. It's not just we're sticking gutter protection on. We're giving you an enclosed system, a
Yes.
complete enclosed system. And from a lot of gutters, uh, people that's doing a lot of business there, they do canvassing and just different things. The gutter gate is really a good tool to bridge that homeowner. Like, hey, we're in the
Yeah.
neighborhood, we're just installing our gutter protection on the houses next door, or up at the front or whatever. And
Yeah.
anybody that's going with our system while we're out here, we're offering them free gutter gates or whatever. It doesn't
Something.
matter
Yeah.
how you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but guess what? And if and you put that in their hand, and guess what? They had never seen this. They're gonna hold it,
Mm-mm.
and then that gives you the opportunity to buy time to let them know that you're out there
Yep.
to take care of them with their gutters, and they'll listen. It's it's
Yeah,
a
they will.
this is a really good tool, but of course we want to sell more.
Yep.
But one thing about Grant that I've learned since we started talking is, a lot of people have angles. I get a lot of calls
Yeah.
because I do a lot of stuff with gutters myself, and I get a lot of calls, and sometimes you wonder what people's angle is.
Hmm.
Like, hey, what's your angle? What are you
Yeah.
trying to get out of this?
What's the
And
real
I hadn't got
intention? Yeah.
yeah, and I hadn't had that anything like that with you, Grant.
Thank you.
I feel like you're very sincere, and you said I just want. This is what you told me. You said I just want people putting good products on their home, and
That is
you
what's
know,
important to me. That's
yeah,
all that's important. I'm going on a new endeavor in my career, right? I'm running a podcast. I told you a couple different things I'm doing because you, of course, rightfully so, you were a little leery. I'm calling you up like, hey, let's get you on the podcast. Let's tell the whole world. You're like, okay, but what's your pitch? And I've
yeah.
heard
What are
that.
you wanting? I think my
What do you
question was,
really
what do you
want?
want?
Yeah, and Chris
And
has talked to me quite a bit about a dealership and things like that. And I've continually said, I just want you guys on the podcast. That's all
right,
I want. I do. I value integrity. I have a servant's heart, and I've been in the gutter business my entire life, which means it has paid every single bill I've ever had, medically, children, braces, bikes, Christmas, Easter, birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, you name it. People around the country have helped me pay my bills. And so I'm indebted to citizens of the United States where I've installed my products for helping me pay my bills. And so if there's another product out here that's going to help me support my family, my business, my whatever it is, man, I've got to get behind it. And I want this industry to have a little bit more of that integrity flavor behind it. So
I really
you're
like
looking,
that.
go
I
ahead.
like the ideas of helping the small guy. Like, um, yeah, the true workforce to me is the people that does this every day.
Hmm.
And that's the true workforce. Home Depot can stick gutter protection on the shelf or gutters on the shelf all day long, but they hadn't peddled anything. They hadn't
No,
hustled anything. And your
no,
and your true hustlers is the guys that's working for themselves, that's going out here and making it happen every day. And
yeah,
that's where, me personally, I like to see a lot of our product fall within those guides. We don't want
for
to make it
sure.
too complicated for anyone to be able to come on board with us, but at the same time,
Hmm.
we want to give them a tool that's out there, that they don't have to bypass anybody or whatever they want to do, however they want to do it, and we can help them. And
Yeah,
that's the goal, is to help them, and give them a tool that they can use that will help them sell their products. That's all.
absolutely. Lastly, here, I just want to mention to some people that there is a dealer opportunity with GutterGate. So there's many different um, amounts that you can order. There is a minimum. They're not just gonna ship you 3 of these across the United States. If you need some samples, I'll just say right now, as you guys already are, feel free to reach out to me. We're working out some type of program to fast track you guys directly to someone in the industry. I'm sorry, in the business that there is an opportunity to get a sample, correct?
Yes, we do provide samples. Um, we're not going to give you a sample of everything, but we will send you a
Right,
sample
right.
if you're worried about how it's built. Of
Yeah.
course, because we want to sell product. But
Mhm.
sometimes
Let's
people
and
have to have it in their hands. But
yeah,
you know,
let's also just try to like not make them. I think that there's going to be an influx. I hope that well, I can almost guarantee because the floodgates, once this get released, most likely will go to your website, and a lot of people will just reach out to me directly. So I approve 100% of this product. I absolutely do. And a lot of people know that that means a lot if I say that. If you want samples, if you want to just go ahead and believe in it, let's pull the trigger. This thing is going to sell. If you need help with some coaching to get this thing sold, you know how to reach out to me for that. Get into our gutter growth group. That is the type of things we can show you how to sell this product. Us particularly next year, my plan, if you buy a full system, gutter protection, 6-inch, we don't do much 5-inch, but 5-inch, 6-inch, 7-inch, half round, Euro box, you buy a full system from us, you let us design your system, we'll probably be putting these things on the bottom of all your downspouts for free. It's just going to be that important to me. And you guys might think about doing something similar, maybe doing the front of the house or the dangerous spots, giving these things to the customer as an upsell. We do that currently with splash blocks as well. So Steve, do you have anything else you want to add about this? Are you comfortable with them, obviously, or do you want them just to flood your phones? I might be a good mediator to stopping some of that. Are you comfortable with them reaching
I
out to
mean,
me for some validation on the product?
yeah, they can reach out to you. I mean, I know your character of everything that we've been through in the last couple of weeks, as far as how you hadn't tried to push anything on me. You hadn't tried to, you know,
Nah,
you know,
it's
and
not gonna happen.
you've
Yeah.
expressed where your heart is with it, and our heart's the same. We want to sell, we want it to
Hmm.
grow, and it takes a lot to move this stuff. I mean, we hadn't had. I'll tell you this: we hadn't really had a hard time, um, like everything that we do is just keeps growing, and we're not having
Hmm.
to advertise. So that's
Right.
it's if people see it and then they want it, and
Yeah.
the trick is I don't think it's not people's going to want this product. It's just we need people that's going to want to endorse it and push the product. And I think at the same time it's going to help uh, their business, because
Yeah.
they're going to say, hey, give me that guy's number or whatever that did yours, or
Hmm.
and if used right, it's really a
It's a
good
great
tool,
tool. You said that
and
specifically. I agree.
we use it a lot on our canvassing, because we do gutter protection too, and
Right.
we do gutters and gutter protection, and we also had to do some roofs, and our roofing company that we have is they use the gutter gates a lot too, as far as from a canvassing point of view. It is a talking piece, because
Yep.
there's not a lot of you don't see gutter gates out there.
Mhm.
They're getting out there, but they're still at that point that people are curious about them. So when you show it, it's definitely a talking piece, you know, and
Yeah. Yeah.
to be able to completely enclose your system, to me, is kind of valuable if it's sold properly.
Absolutely. I think the tool aspect of it is great. If you have these on, you do a full install or a partial install and you put these on the home, the chances of the neighbor coming and asking where you got those things, right? We could just take this as a small piece of the tool. Hey, what are those? Well, I got them because my kids were on this here. Well, could you give me their number, right? And now you're able to come out and maybe start with, well, yeah, oh, well, we noticed one of their downspouts is swinging and they don't have a piece over their back porch. This is going to lead to more work, probably in most cases, even if it's just some type of clean and tune, or they have a nice system, but they don't have any protection. Steve,
Well,
man, this is a
a lot of
great,
these
great
guys,
product.
yeah, a lot of these guys, they're self-advertising, individuals, I think, use Facebook a lot, marketplace. They use
Yeah.
Craigslist marketplace, and it's not a bad thing to team, hey, we use gutter gates along with our systems, or
Mm-hmm.
however you market that. People, we've had, I mean, this is real, to be honest with you, it's a 5-star product. The
Yes, it
only
is.
thing that, like I said, we ever get is there's sometimes you get into, you know, people's always has their own point of view of, um, you can make it $1 and it'd be too much,
Yeah.
so some people it's, and you can't, if people don't see the value in it, you can't force them to see the value. But I can tell you, like 4.9 stars, people see value in it that sometimes I hadn't even thought about that value. And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
definitely, it stands for itself in the quality. I've had people leave bad reviews because they said it was too heavy, and
Yeah. I
that's the
mean,
truth.
some people
And
like cheap
I'm
stuff,
like,
man.
well, it is heavy. They
Some
say,
people like
oh, it
cheap
could have been
stuff.
cheaper, but okay, you know, this isn't recycled vinyl.
Right.
It's not, um, it's not light gauge vinyl. This stuff is very, you can stand on it. We run a
Mm-hmm.
golf cart over it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not cheap.
Yeah.
You know,
Nope.
so it
Well,
takes.
for what you buy these things for from you, I purchased them. We have a nice inventory right now of these things. Several hundred, I think we have right now in the shop. And I'm getting a couple jobs we have this coming week. We've already got those prepped and painted. They're in a box. They're nice and dry and ready to go. We're really excited about it for what we pay for them. And I know everybody's thinking right now, well, all Grant, you don't pay much for anything, right? You've got all the friends in the high places. I'm just now building a relationship with these guys. I'm looking at becoming a dealer of these things in my local area because how much I believe in them. And there's, quite frankly, there is a profit to be made behind them. What we're paying for them is the same as, I would say within 50 cents or something of what anybody else is paying for them. And I think they're worth every penny. And I don't have a problem selling them for triple. Times 3 is great on a product that takes 2 screws. Times 2, times
I
point
mean,
1, like 0.15 is great. If you're just giving good value to the customer, who even cares if you just break even on that one singular piece? It just
well,
finishes the home off nice.
well, you have different people that do different things, and we do both. Like from a canvasser point of view, we'll use it as a tool to set a lead. From a
Mm-hmm.
from a homeowner's point of view, you know, I mean, if you was to go put, let's say you charge $25 to install them around the house or something, and they
Mm-hmm.
had 4 of them, that's $100. You
Yep.
know, you can't go to Home Depot and spend anything, you know, for honeydew list. A honeydew
Yeah.
list is
Yeah.
$200 now. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
go
It is.
paint your wife talks you into painting a bathroom or something, you're $250 in it. By the time you get
Yeah.
out of there, you got tape, rollers, and so
Ain't that the truth?
it's relatively cheap for what you're
Yeah.
actually, you know, you got elbows that's $8 or $9 just to replace an elbow. If you could just put these over, yeah, it might cost you, whatever your dealer number comes up with, it's going to cost you that. But guess what? It's relatively cheap compared to,
Yeah.
if you go look at the product, just go pull products go to Home Depot or Lowe's and just pull products. Everything
Mm-hmm.
in those products, $4 or $5. Cheapest stuff in there is $3 or $4. And
And
it's
that's
just
cheap. That's cheap.
it's
That's
nothing.
cheap stuff. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cheap
it's just
stuff.
nothing. So it's
Yeah.
not. It's really, it doesn't. When people say, "Oh, it's expensive," or what, it's really not when you take it in consideration of what you're getting versus
The
this isn't a
value.
cheap product. It's
Yeah.
not. It's made well. So
I would like, as much as I would like to of course, have your product for half off or something. I have zero problem paying exactly what I'm paying right now, which is what everyone else will be paying, and making a profit or just giving them away.
I mean,
Literally,
and I
because
think that's,
that's
yeah, I think that's another good thing is, I mean, most people that's in gutter business is in the sales business. They're selling, the job, and it's a
yeah,
job. Usually they're not going into a whole bunch of detail of everything they're
no,
doing, but they're
right.
selling the job as a whole price.
Hmm.
These things can easily be worked into the whole price. You can be giving them. I mean, even if you give them away, it's
You can give
cheaper.
them away. Yeah,
You know, it's cheaper than not getting the job
I'll
because
give it
somebody
one.
else.
I'll give one final example on this, just so people can start to process this. And I'm going to give a hypothetical. Let's say the gutter gate's $5. Let's say it's $10. Let's say it's $20. Whatever it cost, you're going to have to go on the website and place an order to find out. That is the catch right now. But hypothetically, let's say you're selling a $3,500 job. And I know there's going to be people that say, we stand firm on our price. We won't bend an inch. That's jargon or whatever they say. And the customer says they want 5% off. What's 5% of 3,000? What's 10% off? I know locally, people give 10% off. The customer calls later that evening. Hey, could you do any better? The competitors are all down. All the big ones do it. What's 10% off of $3,800? It's $380. Let's say you got to give out 6 of these things and they're $20. Let's say they're $5. Let's say they're 18, 16. Who cares? Maybe you could say, no, I don't want to budge. You're getting gutter gates, you're getting splash block, you're getting a good downspout, you're getting a 20-year warranty, you're getting gutter protection, you're getting hangers every 2 feet. We're going under the drip, not over. We sell. That's how we
And,
sell. So
and
if
we're
I got to
giving
give
you
away, yeah, a
giving you a
complete
completely
system,
enclosed system.
completely. The
And that's
customer, no
valuable.
one else is going to be able to mention that. Steve, I really appreciate your time. I appreciate your ingenuity and giving us
Thank
a
you.
product that's going to have a lot of value. I'm sure we'll be talking more. You guys can go on to my at the custom gutter guy page. I did a little commercial, me and my wife, with the gutter gates. They come fast when you order them. They might not come that fast. There's a little editing in there, but they come fast. I think that particular day, I'd ordered them on Thursday night and I had them on Monday morning. I couldn't have been happier. I couldn't have been happier to have you on my channel, Steve. Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
and I hope you have a
I
wonderful
appreciate
evening.
you.
Yes, sir.
I
You
appreciate you
take care.
everything.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Bye.